Hi, Kapok class. It's me, Sandy. As you know, this is my last day in the Kapok class, which feels really sad for me and feels pretty hard because I have been so lucky to be part of your community and to become friends with each one of you. It feels really sad to think about that ending. So I've been thinking a lot today about how everything changes. And in my life, everything changes. And that is part of how I'm always growing and learning new things and moving from one place to the next. One time I was in second grade and then I had to say goodbye to second grade and start third grade, which then that was really great and I loved third grade. And then I had to say goodbye to my third grade teachers, but I got to start fourth grade. And all through my life, I've been moving from different places to place, and I've learned so many things and gained so many things and opened up space to have so many more new experiences. And I've always carried those parts of my old friends and my old communities with me, and they've become part of who I am. I'm thinking about the same thing in nature, that everything in nature is changing. Nothing stays the same forever. And I have been thinking a lot about trees and about the leaves on trees and how they are always changing through the seasons. So I thought I would take some inspiration from the branches of trees today to think about how, sometimes they're really bare and empty, and then they get these little buds, and then the buds open up into leaves, and then the leaves flourish through the summer, and then we say goodbye to those leaves and they turn beautiful colors and they fall to the ground, and it makes room for new fresh leaves to grow next year. So I wanted to say thank you so much, and I am so grateful for the time that I've gotten to spend with all of you, and I will always be carrying those memories and the things that you've taught me. I will always be carrying them with me. And I hope that as you all continue to move on to new places and new experiences and new friendships, that you will also have room for so many unexpected things, new things to blossom, and you will also be carrying these parts of your old self with you always as well. So without wasting any more time talking, let's go ahead and get started and sit down in a comfortable place. Close your eyes, let your shoulders drop down, let your hands drop down. Take some deep breaths. When you breathe in, lift up your shoulders to your ears. When you breathe out, drop your shoulders down. We're going to open and close our fingers just like they are the buds and the blossoms on some trees. When you breathe in, stretch out your fingers, and when you breathe out, let your fists close. Now lift up the arms. When you breathe in, lift up the arms tall, and when you breathe out, bring them down. Open up your eyes, reach out your arms and wiggle your fingers. Stretch your fingers back towards your face. Stretch your fingers down towards the ground. Back towards your face, down towards the ground. Beautiful. Now come onto all fours in our tabletop position. Let's take a little bit of time to rock back and forth from side to side. And while you do that, you can start to twist your hands around, maybe so that the fingertips go to the outside. Maybe the fingertips point back towards you. Just take some time to experiment changing your hand position. Notice what that feels like each time. And we'll bring your hands back so that the fingertips are pointing forward. Take a deep breath in and reach your left leg back. Breathe out. Breathe in to reach your right leg back. Breathe out. Breathe in to reach your right arm forward. Breathe out. Breathe in to reach your left arm forward. Breathe out. We're going to do opposite. So breathe in to reach your left leg and your right arm forward, the opposite hand and the opposite leg. Breathe out. And then we'll switch. And switch. And switch. Okay. Tuck your toes underneath. Walk your hands just a little bit forward. Take a deep breath in. And when you breathe out, downward dog, shoot your hips back towards the sky. Take a few deep breaths here. You might bend your knees a little bit to reach your butt a little higher towards the sky. And then slowly straighten out. Breathe in to lift up your left leg. And breathe out to step it in between your hands. And we'll take high lunge. So your back heel is lifted up off of the ground. Reach your chest up tall. And breathe out to sink a little bit deeper. We're going to take a twist here. Breathe in and twist to the side. Breathe out. Breathe in and we'll open up to the other side. Now we're in warrior two. So your back toes are facing the camera. Flip your front hand. Reach forward and then back. And then we'll come forward into extended side angle. You can plant your elbow on your knee and twist your body open. Bring your shoulder down towards your belly button. Lift yourself back up and we'll come back into high lunge. So the back heel is lifting back off the ground. Take a back bend here, reaching towards the back of the room. And then bring your hands down. We'll take one more twist. Keep your right hand on the ground, the opposite hand, and reach your left arm up towards the sky. Bring it back down towards the ground. And we'll step the left foot back to meet the right. This time we're going to come into high plank. It's like a push-up position. You can drop your knees to the ground and then scoop your chest down and then your belly and come all the way onto your belly. Lift up. Bring your shoulder blades together behind your back. You can press down into the tops of your feet to lift your chest off the ground. And then tuck your toes and come back into downward dog. Nice job. I'm going to switch around. You stay where you are so that I can show you on the other side. Reach your right leg up tall. And when you breathe out, put your right leg in between your feet. Rise up into your high lunge. We'll twist open the other way. Breathe out. Breathe in to come back. And we'll take warrior two. So the back toes turn to face towards your computer or your phone. Your front knee is bent. And you're looking over those fingertips. Flip the right palm, reach forward and then back. Look up towards the sky. And then lift yourself up. Put your elbow down on your knee and reach that arm forward. Twist up towards the sky. Bring your shoulder down towards your hips. Lift yourself back up. Take high lunge again. So you're going to turn the back foot. Bend the front knee. Take it back, bend here, reaching back, and then your hands come down to the ground. Twist open the other direction towards your right. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step your right foot back to meet the left. We're in a high plank, like a high push-up. Bring your knees to the ground, scoop your chest down, forward and up. If you want to, you can lift your hips off the ground, lifting your chest back. And then come into downward dog. One more time. Beautiful. Bring your knees to the ground. We'll take child's pose for a minute. Your toes can come together. Your knees can open up a little bit wide and put your hips, put your bottom down on your ankles. Stretch your arms forward. And bring your forehead to the ground. Breathe in to lift up your chest. And we're going to come down onto our bellies. I'm going to take a few back bends here. So first back bend, your hands can be right kind of near your shoulders. If you can, see if you can lift your hands up off of the ground, and then using only the muscles in your back to pull yourself up, lift up your chest from the ground. Take a few deep breaths here, lifting up a little bit taller so that your chest comes off of the mat. And then lower down. This time we're going to lift up a little bit higher. You can keep your hands right underneath your shoulders. This time you can push into the ground to lift yourself up. Bring your shoulder blades together down your back. Look up tall. And then lower yourself down. We'll take one more. You can do one of those two, or if you want to, you can stretch out your legs like a slice of pizza. And push into the ground, breathe in again, lift yourself up even taller if you want, if that feels good for you. Some deep breaths. And then lower yourself down. We have one more option here. You can do the same thing again, or if you'd like to, you can bend your knees and hold onto your feet with your hands. Now this one is a lifting and kind of a kicking at the same time. So you're lifting your chest and then kick back with your feet so that you're lifting your feet up a little bit taller. This is called bow pose. It's like a bow and arrow. Take a deep breath in, lift up your legs a little bit taller, and then lower yourself down. Beautiful. You can bend your knees and lift up your feet and then windshield wiper them back and forth. We're going to take a twist here, which can be a little bit comfortable. So bend your left knee and bend your left elbow at the same time so that there's a space underneath your elbow. Then take the opposite hand and thread it underneath, and we're going to open up into a twist. Reaching back, you can let your back come to the floor so your chest looks up at the sky. Take a few deep breaths here. And when you're ready, come back around, roll over. You can bring both of your hands back to the mat. Bring your feet together. We'll take the same thing on the other side. So bend your right knee and bend your right elbow so there's a space. Take the opposite hand and thread it underneath and then open up into a twist. You might feel that shoulder becoming heavier. So reach out through those fingertips. And then roll back over onto your belly. Nice job. Okay. This time we're going to roll all the way over onto our back. Take a couple stretches for the legs. So keep your knees pointed up to the sky and then cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Here we're going to look for a stretch in the outer hip, the edge of our thigh. You want to let that right knee open up as far away as it can. And you want to flex those toes so the toes are reaching back towards the knee. If you're already feeling a stretch, this is great. If you want to make it a little bit more intense, then you can lift up that other foot and maybe hold your leg behind the thigh, behind the knee. Just try to keep your chest really flat and bring those knees towards your chest. Maybe you can hold on the opposite side of your shin. Your choice. And slowly release. We'll switch legs. And so the left knee is opening out. The left toes are flexed back. If you want to, you can hug behind the knee. Or you can hug in front of the knee. And you can release that down. We're going to take a pose. Let's see. We'll take first an inner thigh opener. Bring the feet together and let the knees open out towards the side. You can put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. When you breathe in, feel those hands rising up. When you breathe out, feel them sinking down. You can use your hands to guide your knees back together. And then take either your big toes or maybe the insides of your feet with your hands, or the outsides of your feet with your hands. And we're going to slowly open up the feet so that the legs are parallel with each other. They're reaching up towards the sky. Your knees are bending and you're pulling gently, gently. You're pulling your feet down towards the floor. And let that go. Stretch the left leg out and hug the right knee in towards your body. Take a few circles with that knee. The other direction. We're going to take a stretch for the leg here. So you can hold onto those toes with your fingers if that's possible for you. If not, you can hold on behind your leg or maybe behind your knee. Wherever you're holding, slowly, to whatever degree is comfortable, we'll begin to straighten out that leg. Maybe the leg comes straight, or maybe it's not straight. Maybe you're holding onto the knee and it's a little bit bent. It could look different. Here we're looking to try to stretch out this part of our leg, our hamstrings. So if you're very flexible, you might bring that leg closer towards your face. And then we'll open that leg out to the side. You can bend the knee. Bring it back in towards your body, give it a little hug. Ooh, and then let go. We'll switch sides. So hug the opposite knee in towards your body. You can give it a few circles. We'll start to straighten out that leg. So maybe you want to hold on to the toes or hold on behind the knee. Start to stretch the leg out. And then drop it to the other side. You can bend the knee and bring it back in towards you. Give it a hug. Stretch it out. This time we're going to take some stretches for the feet. So lift your legs straight up into the air. And just like we did with our hands at the beginning of class, point the feet, almost like you're trying to curl them closed. And then stretch them open. Curl them closed. Stretch them open. One more time, curl them closed. Stretch them open. And we're going to take a little stretch for our hamstrings here. You can hold onto both of your legs, maybe behind the calves. Maybe behind the thighs. Maybe you're holding onto your toes. Whatever is comfortable for you. We're trying to work towards straightening out the legs and bringing them towards your chest. And slowly bend the knees, hug the knees in towards your body, lift up the forehead. Breathe in, give everything a tight squeeze, like a tiny little bud on the end of a branch. And then like that bud in springtime when everything opens up, breathe out like your leaves are opening up. to get ready for the sun. Close your eyes. We're going to set up for Shavasana here, our last pose. So find a comfortable way to lie down. Notice your breathing. Notice how is your body feeling today? How is it feeling right now? Notice. What are your thoughts doing today? What are your thoughts doing right now? Are they staying the same? Or are they always changing? How about your feelings? Just notice what they're doing. Notice where they are. We're going to go on a little adventure in our mind, a little walk. I want you to think about one tree that you've seen before. Maybe it's kind of close to your house. I'm thinking about there's a tree that's part of the sidewalk right outside of my house. Maybe it's a tree in a park that you like to go to. Maybe it's a tree in a different special place. Think about a tree that you know, that you've seen before. In your mind, I want you to imagine you're standing close to that tree. And you walk up a little bit closer so that you get really close to one branch. So you're looking at one branch. Imagine that branch in your mind. And I want you to imagine that it is February, that branch is empty. The bark is smooth. Little tinier branches stretch out in different directions, but they're all bare, they're all empty. And we're gonna move through the year. Maybe now it's March or April, and you start to notice that tiny buds are forming. There are these little pods, these little tight balls of energy. They're smooth. Maybe they're an oval shape or a round shape. And then springtime comes, and imagine those buds opening up. The edges are peeling back, and then inside something soft is starting to come out. Maybe it's a tiny, tiny flower. Or maybe it's the tiny green curls of leaves stretching open and stretching out. As we move through spring, those leaves are going to start to stretch and spread and open up and unfold, almost like wings of a bat are opening up. At first, they're really small. First, they're really bent and they're very thin. But as summer starts to come, those leaves stretch out and they grow and they get darker green and they get thicker, bigger. All summer long, they collect the sunlight for the tree and they blow in the wind and they're strong and steady. Maybe some of them blow away, but most of them stay. Like a little solar panel, they're collecting all that light. They're doing their job so well. The warm weather, and then sometimes the days start to cool down, they get a little bit colder. It's not quite as sunny as it was before. Those leaves start to get a little bit less busy. Maybe the color starts to change a little bit. The green is going away. So you can see the yellow. They already had yellow in them, but the green was blocking it. So now while the green starts to go away, you can start to see the yellow. Maybe these leaves have some other colors like orange or red. Notice which part of the leaves turn yellow first? Maybe the edges start to get a little bit yellow. And the veins of the leaves are still bright green, and then they start to get a little yellow too. The leaf starts to get a little bit dry, a little crispier. When the wind blows through this time, you can hear kind of like a rattling sound as the leaves are brushing against each other. And one by one, they start to fall. Maybe the ones on the top of the tree fall first, or the ones on the edges of the branches. Slowly, every day they fall until all of the leaves are gone. They're smooth branches again, almost like they're resting and they're waiting for their next opportunity. Almost like when we have to go to bed at the end of every day, so we can rest up and get ready for a new day to start tomorrow. We have to gain our energy back. We have to make some space and make room for our new beginning. And then maybe you start to notice, if you look closely at those branches, maybe you start to notice some smooth buds starting to form. Those smooth, energetic circles or ovals that are getting ready to blossom for the next spring. That are making room and getting ready for fresh, green new leaves. Slowly, when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. You can wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Maybe you want to stretch your arms over your head. Stretch your chest out. And roll over onto your side until you can lift yourself up and come back to a sitting position. Maybe you want to stretch your body out a little bit more, add some wiggles or circle your shoulders. Whatever is going to help you get ready to start the next part of your day. Kapok, it was so much fun to do yoga with you today. And I encourage you, I would be excited the next time you go on a walk. Maybe you want to walk by one particular tree, or notice what trees you see and see if you can notice what's happening on the branches and what's happening with the leaves. Maybe if you go by that same tree next week or next month or tomorrow, you can notice again what might be the same and what might be a little bit different, what is changing a little bit every day. Something is going to be growing or something is going to be letting go every day, a little bit different from the one before. Okay, I'll see you all later. Bye.